What's going on? That was a really bad time for it to crash. Really bad time. Really bad timing, not gonna lie. Because we were right at the pinnacle of emotion. We were at the peak, man. We were at the peak of the story, and it froze. Crashed. I know, Galaxy, it sucks, because we were right in the... I was so in the moment, and then I realized that it crashed. I was so engaged in the moment. I paused it, though, so you haven't missed much of the story. Let's now proceed with what is left, which is not that much, but I wanted... Let's forget that it paused. Let's pretend that didn't... Let's forget that it didn't crash. Let's pretend...
I needed to. You taught me what it truly means to be a Jedi. Now you're gone. We will continue your legacy, Seer. We will build something that can outlast the Empire. I promise you that. I promise. But I'm scared. I almost lost myself. Don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready for what comes next.
Oh, shit.
Cal, guide her through the darkness.
Oh, she's just gone. Is that it? Bro. Wow. Not gonna lie. They reeled me back in at the end there. They got me. They got me back in. That was good. That was a good ending. It was a good ending, man. That was a good ending to the story. I just wish that that whole last chunk was not facilitated by massive plot convenience. Like, I'm serious, like the most convenient plot development ever happened to allow all of that to happen. Like, none of that would have happened if there wasn't a convenient alternative way to get to Tanalorr that they randomly made up. If I ignore that, that was like peak. That was like perfect. But they had to write in a really weak like plot device to facilitate that end result. Yeah, it should have been written better. Like, it feels like they had a roadmap for like where the story was gonna go, and they were like, okay, but then they realized that they wrote themselves into a corner with this whole, like, hidden planet. So they were like, let's make up a bullshit last-second way of getting to this hidden planet that no one can never get to. And then that's what they came up with. And so they just got there at the end, and it was like, yay. But, like, man, that was heavy. That was a heavy ending. That was heavier than the first game. Like, the first game had a very, like, thought-provoking ending, right? But it was positive, right? It ended on a high note. It was, like, hopeful. It was optimistic. This was devastating. This was, like, everything is messed up. Like, what are they gonna do now, you know? Like, you know, I guess if it's gonna be a trilogy of games, this is like the Empire Strikes Back kind of thing, right? But at the same time, like, would you call that a cliffhanger? Because I didn't really find that to be a cliffhanger. Like, everything was wrapped up. There's no real cliffhanger. It's just like, what the heck are they gonna do? Like Seer and Cordova and everything they built was destroyed. Bode ended up being a piece of shit, and we had to kill him. And that was sad too. Like, it wasn't like a triumphant, we won the day, we defeated the bad. Because Bode, like, it's very debatable whether or not Bode was a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, Bode was a complicated dude. Bode was a flawed man. But he cared about his daughter, and he did everything for her, ultimately. And he was willing to die to achieve that end goal of his daughter being safe. Even Cal couldn't guarantee her safety, though. But he is willing to care for her, at least, right? Like, that's something that, like, I like that Cal is such a, like, a nobleman. Like, he's such a man of honor that he's willing to basically take in the daughter of the man he killed, and had enough respect for him to give him a proper, like first of all, give him back his weapons, close his eyes, and then give him a proper burial alongside, like, 2 other people that he lost, one of which was killed by Bode. Like, that was Seer, Cordova, and Bode, and Bode killed Cordova. So, hey Ethan, how's it going? We're at the end of the game. It's over. Yeah, it's over. It was heavy, dude. It was a heavy ending.
Oh, you fought Dustbeard again?
No, we fought our friend. It was really sad. We had to kill him.
Oh, shit.
It was like a fucked up ending, man. It's like really sad. You gotta play this for yourself. It's like, it's such a freaking trip. Like, no, man. The final fight's like your friend. Like, you gotta. It's really sad. Yeah. I think there's probably still some stuff to play after this, but the story's wrapped up. Yeah. Please don't make a shitty third game that ruins everything. Acolyte. Yeah, that's the thing, Galaxy. Like, there's always that concern, right, that they could screw it up. And the thing is, they almost screwed the pooch at the end of this one. Like, they almost lost me with that weird plot contrivance bullshit that they made up. But they made up for it with how how thematically rich and, like, well written the character work was. Like, I've said this before, right? But as long as you have good character work in a story, that takes precedence. So, like, if you have flaws from a plot perspective, like there are holes in the plot, there are narrative issues, those are always secondary for me next to, like, character work and, like, thematic substance. This game had all of that, It had that character, like Cal, man. What a character. What did you think about that, Galaxy? I mean, I know you didn't play it and you just watched me play it, but like, what did you think? I'm curious to hear your thoughts because you watched me play the whole thing. That was good. Yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend playing it. Like, this is good. It's good. I would say... I think, you know, I was debating on my other streams whether or not it's better or worse than the previous one. I think just for that really weak plot development at the end, it's worse than Fallen Order. I think it's worse than Fallen Order just for that. For that one reason. Because Fallen Order was just pretty airtight. Like, I don't think it was perfect, but don't get me wrong, but it was pretty airtight from a narrative point of view and a thematic, you know, perspective. This was thematically on point and narratively messy. Like, this definitely did not have as strong a narrative flow as Fallen Order did. But thematically, I think it was on point. What they were doing with the characters, the themes that they were exploring, really damn good. Really strong stuff there. But yeah, like that's the thing is like I'm more into story. Like I'm not even that much of a gamer guy, right? But I love the first one, and so I'm happy that I got to this point, right? Because it's been a long time. I've been wanting to play this for a year. Over a year, right? Because it came out in April 2023. So it finally came out on PS4, and I've played the full story, you know. So this is good. This is cool. After all this time, here we are at the end of my first semester of university. I finally played and finished Jedi Survivor. Who would have thought, eh? Who would have thought? It's a good bookend, though. Started playing this game, like, pretty early in the semester, right? And here we are at the end, and I finished it. It's pretty good bookend. Listen to this guitar, though. Can you hear that? That's some good guitar playing. Never forget that stupid review on Star Rail. No matter how good your story is, no one wants to stick around. Horrible ass take. That is pretty stupid, man. That's pretty dumb. But I think that the statement itself is not untrue. Like, you have to... Or wait, sorry, I misread that. No, that is stupid, actually. How good your story is, no one wants to stick around. Like, you do have to have a good story to want people to stick around. I'm just hoping they don't fuck it up with the next game, you're right. Like, I don't want them to mess it up. What I think would be interesting is if the next game is from the perspective of the daughter. You know what I mean? Like, it would be different for sure, because the first two games have been all about Cal. But what if there's a time jump and Kata is older and she's the central character? Because remember, that would be because, like, think about it, like in the sense that the very last line there was Seer saying guide her through the darkness. So it's like clearly this is going to be the focus from now on, is not only like Cal's plans of building an army, of bringing the hidden path to this planet, of finding a way of fighting back against the Empire. They've kind of been destroyed, right? But he does now have this young girl who he has to take under his wing. And I don't know, I don't think it was confirmed or ever stated outright in the game that she's Force sensitive, because, like, Bode was obviously a Jedi. We don't know if his wife was, but just because, like, a parent was Force sensitive doesn't necessarily mean that their child is, but I think it's a safe bet that she probably is Force sensitive. So you've got Cal, who's already a seriously, you know, scarred and like, what's the right word? Like, challenged person, right? Like, he's already struggling with the dark side to a pretty major extent. And so seeing someone like him trying to navigate a leadership role, or a, like, you know, a teacher role, a mentorship role, would be interesting. And it would be interesting if we got to experience that story not from his perspective, right? Like, think about the what's those games, The Last of Us, right? How the first game was about Joel, right? I haven't played them myself, but I know what they're about, right? The first game's about Joel, and the second one is about Ellie, right? It's about the kid. So what if there's... I'm not saying they kill Cal at the beginning of the next game or anything like that, but, like, imagine if they do something like that. Like, the second game is from Kata's POV. Like, how interesting is the setup here? Like, we've got a guy, Cal, who's now adopted the daughter of a guy that he killed. Whether or not it was in, like, you can argue about it being in self-defense and this and that, but he killed Bode. And she's gotta know that, right? Like, she has to know that. That her father was killed by the people that she's now essentially living with, who are now taking care of her. Like, how's that gonna affect her, right? For the second, not mentally ready for the second one. I know the second one's pretty divisive. But, like, there's gotta be something there, right? Like, Kata seemed to be kind of, like, onto her dad, right? She was like, you know, stop being a friggin' psychopath. Like, she was kind of with Cal at the end there. Like, she kind of realized that her dad was losing it. So she kind of understood, like, for someone, like, I don't know how old she's supposed to be, like, 10 or something. For someone of her age, that's a great deal of maturity that she's demonstrating. But there's gotta be some level of resentment that she will develop towards Cal, right? Because she's being raised by the guy who killed her dad. So, like, how is that gonna manifest? That's such an, like, there is a ton of rich storytelling potential there. I hope they don't waste it. Imagine if they just, like, waste all of that. It's like years later, and then like Kata's just off on her own, and you don't see her for the whole thing. Because, like, that's the thing, is, like, these games are Cal's story. Seeing how modern games are, who knows? That's the thing. But I feel like yeah, I don't know if they would do that, because that's the thing. Like, Cal has been so central to these two games, that I don't know if it's likely they would shift the focus that much to a tertiary character like that. The modern lazy writing. Yeah, I suppose. I hope they don't go down that road. Like, I don't know if... I wonder how... Like, because you and me are, like, talking about this. We're like, oh, we find this interesting. But I wonder how, like, a general audience, like a gaming audience, would respond to that. Like, how would they respond to suddenly the main protagonist of the previous two games being relegated to a secondary role? And this younger character who kind of just appeared at the end of the previous game is now the protagonist. Like, how would they respond to that if that's what they end up doing? Because I don't know if... I feel like they might lose a lot of fans if they do that. I don't know. Because people are going to be like, oh, it's woke because it's like a girl. I don't know, because people like to complain about woke and this and that, which is just total bullshit. Some people blame the state of California, but, like, there is more to that. So you hired for an executed story and messages. It's the writer. Yeah. It's all about the writing, that's the thing. It's like, I'm not, like, that's the thing is, like, I'm just spitballing ideas, but I'm like, I'm not opposed to that idea. Like, I'm not opposed to the idea of Kata becoming the protagonist. I actually think that could be interesting if executed well. Some people are probably just opposed to that idea outright. I'm not. I would actually be fascinated to see that. How would they handle putting Cal on the back burner for a bit and focusing on a different character? And could they do that well? Because Cal is such an interesting character, right? Same with Horizon, simply because it's strong female protagonist, it's lesbian, and it's too woke. Yeah, I hate that, you know? People disregard good stories because they're like, oh, it's woke. I was so sick of that. Sick of hearing that thrown around, you know? Because, like, didn't play Horizon, it looks fun, it's interesting. Yeah, like, I think that would be so interesting if they actually made Kata the protagonist. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. It's the RAs. Hello. Hi, Taylor. Yes. We're at the end of the game. You're here for the credits. Yeah. Finished exams, so. Yep. Could care less about the main character being male or female, or as long as you have a good story. Issue with male characters. Yeah, same. From certain games. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's like a weird, like, masculinity stereotype that I don't really like. And they've even, like, that's even carried over into female protagonists too. I don't know if you've seen that, like this trope where they just kind of, like, they for some reason think the way to make, like, strong, like, women protagonists is to make them, like, masculine. And it's like, why did you do that? Like, why was that necessary? Like, that actually feels kind of sexist, you know what I mean? When they do that kind of thing. See ya. Hate it when the males are in his men and has a... yeah. I agree. Kind of pries away from the main story. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Like, it's just not really interesting. Like, it actually does feel kind of, like, sexist when they do this, like... it very much reeks of, like, stories that are like, female characters that are written by men, when they're like, this is how we make strong women, right? Let's make them into men. Like, let's just have them, like, have all the characteristics of men. And it's like, that's really bad writing. Isn't the whole point to save the day or whatever? Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I think that these games have had really well written female characters, to be honest. Like, Marin and Seer, even Kata, for what little screen time she had, was pretty strong. Trilla, too. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Like, there are plenty, actually, but, like, they're really strong characters. I suppose you could say Marin now is a bit of a... What do you think about... Do you think that Marin's too much of a... like, a plot device kind of thing? Because it feels like she's Cal's, like, anchor, you know what I mean? Like, every time that they show him going overboard, like, when he used the dark side, she kind of brought him back. So Marin's, like, Cal's anchor. And so I'm like... In that sense, she feels a bit like a female stereotype kind of thing, right? Because she's like, oh, I'm the girlfriend who brings back the male, like, the boyfriend from the darkness kind of thing, right? Like, that's a bit of a stereotype. But Marin's also, like, her own character. Like, she's not relegated to being, like, the sidekick. Because the whole point was that she went on this whole, like, personal soul-searching quest off-screen and found out who she was. Which, I mean, I wish we kind of could have gotten to see that, to be honest. Maybe they'll fill that gap in at some point with a book or something. But, like, she just kind of told us about how she found, like, her true self, and now she's more at peace. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I wish we kind of could have gotten to see that instead of you just telling me about it. Like, but, yeah, you know, like, it is Cal's story, that's the thing. So, I kind of get why that didn't happen. Hated that, or finding a love interest character. I'm glad Ninjago stopped doing that shit. People see Sora and Aaron as a couple, but they're... Oh yeah, I hate that, man. But as it goes, it's clear these characters are best friends. Yeah, I don't like that either, you know? Where it's like, oh, we have to have the... what's the right term? Like, heterosexual main characters be like a couple. They do that way too much. Like, I think in this context, though, it makes sense. Like, with Cal and Marin, like, I remember when they set that up in the first... Like, it was very loosely hinted at in the first game, and then in the book, it was definitely implied. The Battle Scars book. And so I think that it was set up well enough that it made sense in this narrative. Like, they're both these kind of outcasts, you know? Like, they're both, survivors. Like, that's the thing they keep saying that Marin said in the last game is, like, survivors, we adapt. They're both, like, misfits. And they kind of find this solace in one another. Like, I feel like that makes sense. Like, I like that, narratively speaking. More about what I think... making a female main character, sometimes there's so much more I can say, but there's only so... Yeah, I know what you mean. On YouTube stream. I mean, you can say whatever you want. This isn't like a censored space, you know? Like, I'm willing to listen to your opinion. I'm not going to shut you down. Like, that's the thing. There's a lot of it. It's a lot. I mean, you know, talk away, my friend. You're feel free. This is a safe space. But, well, yeah, no, I liked that. Like, to be honest, no joke. Like, the Cal Marin relationship is more believable to me than the Anakin Padme thing. The Anakin Padme thing was never believable. TLDR. IG, what does that mean? I'm sorry, I'm like really bad with acronyms, short forms. Started playing Genshin Yuan as a female character instead of the male character. Okay. There's a lot to think about. Female main character kind of felt right in the world it's in because of the way these characters interact. It's like they appreciate the female main character. When it's the make, it's the same thing. But like, I get that weird sexual undertone, right? They always kind of do that, right? Sometimes it feels forced. In this game, it did not feel forced to me. glad this game won an award for like best game score or something, because the soundtrack is so good. Just listening to it right now. I want to listen to the soundtrack again. I think I have it saved on my iPod. Because when you play as the girl main characters, it's like they appreciate them for being this good friend or someone they can trust. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Doesn't seem that bad. No, I agree. I agree, to be honest. Like, sometimes it feels very forced in there. Where they're like, we need to add this. They're like, okay. Too long. Didn't read, and I guess means. Okay. I thought like there was something about Instagram. When I see IG, I think of Instagram. Me and short forms, man. We don't get along well. Me and short forms. Guys, standing ovation. They killed it. I just think it's weird. Like, I just think it's weird when people oppose outright, like, the idea of, like, I don't know, there being, like, a female, whatever, protagonist that's, like, black, or she's gay, or, I don't know. It's just, like, I'm throwing out random stuff, but it's, like, there's always, like, the people who are like, oh, that's so this and that, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, can you just appreciate a story? Genshin and other games have lesbians, but they also have gay characters, too, so it could be, yeah. Marin's theme. It feels more like a... Yeah, I know what you mean. Original Star Wars music, John T. Williams. I've never heard him addressed as John T. Williams, for sure. I didn't even know there was a T in his middle name. Yeah, these are some damn long credits here. But I mean, I'm just gonna sit here and appreciate them. Appreciate all the people who poured their, you know, blood, sweat, and tears into making this. Paid off. It's a good story. Then from the event, right. Yeah, like there's like interpretations that can be drawn from that, right? Like it's not super like it's kind of vague. It's kind of like open to interpretation, I guess, is the right way to put it. Instead of it being like this is how it needs to be read. Remember that certain characters are written, he's supposed to be a jerk, so of course he would make a stupid comment. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going off what you're saying. I've never seen this, this show, right, so... Maybe I should watch it. That reminds me of Moro, funny enough. Moro? Like from Ninjago? I don't know if Moro would ever say anything like that. Fucked over by destiny. Yeah. It's like a Tai Lung thing, right? Tai Lung did it first, and then actually probably someone in Kung Fu did it. I don't know who did it before Tai Lung. But it was Tai Lung, and then it was Moro. It's a game. The game is 26 hours long. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning so much, I'm tired. It's a game. Entire thing is 5 to 6 hours long. Okay. Well, maybe I should look into that, because it sounds interesting. It sounds cool from what you've described. In terms of character traits. Okay. I'm trying to remember what Moro, like how Moro was characterized. I don't really remember any traits that I'd attribute to him directly. Like specific traits. His name is Scaramochi. It's kind of a funny name. Does that have like a meaning or something that I don't know about? Usually these names have a meaning, right? I'm still trying to think about what the name Bode means in the context of this game and this story. Like, why was he called Bode? I guess because he's like, it's like foreboding, you know what I mean? Or like abode. Like, because what he was searching for was like a home, like an abode where he could live. Or his canon name, the Hat Guy. I wonder why he's called that. Very special thanks, George Lucas. The OG, the main man. Is that it? Oh no, there's more. These credits never end, man. They've been going for 40 minutes. We gotta be getting close to the end. This looks like the end. So, Skara and Moro, the only similarities is fucked over by destiny, very mean, aggressive, and tried to rise to power and failed miserably. Sounds about right. That's kind of more. Did Moro try to rise to power, though? Like, what did Moro want again? They also harness wind power. Oh, well, that's something, too. Like, what did Morrow want, even? Like, he just wanted to be, like, appreciated, right? I thought that was kind of the point, was, like, more so than he wanted power, he just wanted to be, like, valued. He wanted to live up to his potential. There's a trend with these motherfuckers. He wanted to be the Green Ninja, possess Lloyd. Yeah, so he was, like, kind of a bit of an egotist, right? He was like, oh, I want to be the Green Ninja, so I'll just, like, take over the real one. Like, he couldn't accept that he wasn't the prophesied, you know, special savior of the world. And so he decided to take out his anger on other people. Tried to bring the cursed realm Ifragor. Why did he do that again? Why did he want to bring the cursed realm to Ninjago? He was just like, screw you guys. Like, I don't know why I'm forgetting so much of that season. Like, Possession was a good season, but I'm forgetting it now. Possession was peak. Unreal Engine. That looks like the end of the credits, man. He was rejected, so he's a demigod. He really can't do shit. A place you could call home.
Well,
Oh, there's a
not
cutscene.
exactly what we expected. But this place is our home now.
Yeah, Grease. Yeah, I guess it is. Still got a lot of work ahead of us.
It will take time to contact the hidden path.
And find the anchorites.
And build a saloon. I mean, the place is creepy, but it does have franchise potential.
This belongs with you.
It belongs with all of us.
Dang right it does.
What do you think, kid? Should we give it a shot?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Ah, that's the spirit. Oh, that's great. Come on, I'll bet you're hungry. I'll make you something to eat. Did you ever have a scaz stick?
That music was ominous. Okay, journey complete. You have reached the end of your journey. However, the galaxy can be freely explored, and there may yet be secrets left to discover. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that on future streams, to be honest. There's no way I'm done. New Journey Plus. Okay, so you get more stuff. Nice. Okay. Lego Star Wars at the free roam tournament. Next year, tournament and possession are going to be 10 years. Wait, really? Oh yeah, it's 2025. Red brick unlocked. Yeah, no joke. Is there anything like really on Tanalorr? Because it doesn't look like there's that much like here to explore at all. It's pretty barren as far as collectibles go. We're just kind of scratching the surface. I'm sure there'll be more of it in the next game. Just haven't come up with that much yet. True Jedi achieved. Out of 10 mini kits. 10 out of 10 BD kits. So that's what we got. I mean, I like what we've got of Tanalorr. It would have been cool if they mapped it out more. I feel like they just had like a very basic like outline of what Tanalorr was gonna be, because they knew it wasn't gonna be in the story that much. So they were like, they're gonna show this in the vision scenes, and then they're gonna show it at the end. Yeah, it's a really nice planet, but they kind of just, I think they're just giving us like a little taste of it, because like I'm certain that it'll be like front and center. Because like the main planet in this game was clearly Kobo. Like there's so much to like check out on Kobo, and this one is more like, okay, you know, this is like a tease. But it was so central. Like this was the ultimate end goal of our mission. So there's got to be more of it. Yeah, they should have made it more explorable, but I kind of get why they didn't. I think there were a lot of production issues with this game, so it kind of makes sense that because they were making it in the middle of the pandemic, right? So they probably had some limitations placed on them. Bonus areas from the old Lego. Yeah, it's like, you know, we were talking about how animators are like abused nowadays. It's like this kind of feels like that situation almost. Like they were rushed to release the game and they didn't get to add more to Tanalorr. Because basically all we've got is like a couple open spaces, the ship, and then like this temple area where we fought Bode. It's kind of all it was like they kind of just made like a thin pathway and then like an arena where we could fight the final boss. Like that was kind of all they really clearly put into that. I wanted to be an animator, but I don't know what I'll do. That's the thing, I wanted to be an animator too, but the online courses that I was taking in high school, like none of them offered animation, so I just kind of dropped that and decided to go with music, which I mean I'm enjoying. I'm glad that I've decided to pursue that, but I do wonder occasionally what would have happened if I tried to do animation. Like where would I have gone with that? I still really do love animation and film and all that, but music is an essential part of those things. You're just thinking of what I could create. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty you could create, man. I want to get better in storytelling, and I think I want to get back to photography. Oh, and filming. You did back in middle school. That would be cool, man. I'd like to see some of that. Maybe we could work on something together if you actually do get out of the hellhole that you're in over in California or whatever, Florida. I forget where you are. Come over to Canada. We'll get you working on some stuff over here. My friend and I have a plan to make a short film. Maybe you could work on that with us.
Show me your light. I've waited all night. Ghost star, won't you sing with me? Show me your light. I've waited all night. No, Tyler.
Tyler.
Won't you sing with me?
Is that the first time we've heard her name? I don't think we ever heard her name. Aw. That's sad, man. It's really sad. Bode was just like a tortured soul. He was just a broken man. I hope maybe his soul is at rest now. Maybe he's at peace. We can only hope, right? I've been thinking of a fan project. You ever seen that one Lego fan project where it's Ninjago seasons 1 through 5? Retold, but was filmed outside? No, I don't think I have seen that. That sounds cool, though. Show you? Yeah, I'd like to see that. See if there's anything around here. But I feel like all I'm gonna find are more things that make me sad about Bode. About how all that went down. Pretty good for a fan project. Yeah. It does sound cool. They need to retell season 7, but make it actually good. Oh, hey, look at this.
Ghost star.
Oh, yep. Oh.
Ghost star, are you very far? All night long, I will sing your song. If you watch over me, ghost star, hiding in the night. All your friends oh so bright. When the sky's clear, I can sense you near, looking down on me. Ghost star, silent in the sky. Now I start to wonder why. Show me your light. I've waited all night. Ghost star, won't you sing with me?
Lullaby. Recording of Bodakuna singing a lullaby to his daughter. It's enough to make a grown man cry. Yeah, man. It's rough. It's sad. Like, what else could we have done, right? Like, we tried. But, like, Bode was not gonna give up, you know? Like, he just lost it. He was just, like, he lost his marbles. Darkseid does something to him. Yeah. Because, like, you hear that, and it's like you hear a totally different person. Like, his voice is so much softer, and he's gentle, and then in his last moments, he was like a frickin' murderous maniac. And it's like... you know, it's what the dark side does, but I guess it's also what fear does. Like, I mean, you know, the whole thing, fear leads to the dark side. All that jazz, right? Fear and anger. Like Anakin, yeah. But it's like... Anakin was always kind of unstable, right? It's like you think about... fear, anger, and hatred, yeah. It's like we just gotta hope that, you know, Cal doesn't go down that path. That's kind of the point. It's like he could. But he still has these people that he cares about that can anchor him. But what happens if those people are lost as well? Because we saw how he reacted when he lost Seer and Cordova. What would happen if he lost Marin and Grease too? Like, that would probably be his breaking point. Suffering. That's the thing, is like Bode clearly lost so much. The guy gave up everything to try and get a life for his daughter. And all he ended up doing in the end was potentially causing her more harm than good. He was actually hurting her in the end. Pulling down pillars and dropping rubble around her, like, that was very, very unsafe. So he kind of lost that in the end. Like, he kind of just lost any sense of morality. Like, it's the same, it is, you're right, it's the same as Anakin, right? Because Anakin dedicated his whole path to preserving Padme's life, and then in the end he ended up killing her, essentially. Like, his actions led to her death. And Bode, although he didn't kill his daughter, like, he was hurting her. He was like, in his pursuit of preserving his daughter's safety and ensuring that she was kept protected, he was actually causing her harm. And so that's a very Anakin-esque thing as well, right? And it's like we gave him so many chances. That's the thing. Like, Cal's a good guy. Like, he tried. But he wouldn't frickin' give up. Like, he was taking every chance to try and kill us. And it's like, well, bro, like... That's what Marin said. Kill or be killed, you know? If he really cared about being around to support his daughter, then he would have just accepted defeat and, you know, surrendered, but he didn't. And that's another thing too, like, we're talking about suffering, right? It's like, part of me wonders, like, did Bode even want to live? You know? Like, Cal, there was that moment earlier where Cal said you were gonna sacrifice thousands of people to save yourself. And he's like, no, like, he says, like, you're a monster, and Cal says he's a monster, and he's like, no, I'm a father. And it's like, Marin says he used that to justify murder and betrayal, but was that him justifying it, or was that just, like, him saying, like, all that really matters is his daughter's life at this point? Like, he doesn't really give a shit about himself. Going on with people personally. Yeah, that's the thing, is, like, earlier, like, there was even an example. Remember, like, I'm wondering now if that was the intention of us fighting that purple guy. Remember, like, a couple streams ago, I fought that purple, like, squid tentacle guy, and he was like, I want to, like, have a warrior's death. He was like, I want you to kill me just so that I can have the satisfaction of dying in battle. And we killed him, and it was kind of, like, weird. And I was like, what was the narrative purpose of that? I'm wondering if that was, like, foreshadowing for Bode almost. Because maybe it was, like, maybe that was the, just vividly, you remember now? Yeah, like, I'm wondering if that was the narrative point of that, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that was, like, maybe Bode wasn't like, oh, I want to die a warrior's death, but maybe subconsciously he was like, he kind of, I mean, similar to Padme, like, Padme lost the will to live, right? Maybe Bode just, like, kind of just wanted to die. Like, maybe he just didn't really have any, he didn't have any lot in life. Like, all he cared about was his daughter, and he's like, will you be able to protect her? And Cal couldn't answer him. He was just like, he you know, he didn't have an answer when Bode said, and when the Empire comes, will you be able to keep her safe? And he couldn't answer him, because he knew that, yeah, he can't really promise that. But I'm sure he'll do his damnedest to keep her safe, right? Because Cal's a good guy. But it's like, Bode, yeah, it's like he probably didn't really want to live anymore. Like, there's no question he loved his daughter, but to a point where he was, like, gonna hurt her. Like, he was actually causing more harm to his daughter by being alive, which is the sad thing, because he did everything for her. Oh, do you hear that? They've got, like, a choral version of the Force theme. It was like, oh. Ooh, that's so cool. It's like this game was like $30 at Target the other day, but like, I need the first one. Have you not played the first one? How much does the first one go for? Otherwise it'll be lost. Yeah, probably. I just want to listen to the score. Like Lego Batman. I played Batman 2 and I never won. Yeah, same. I never played Batman 1 or 3, but I played 2. Man, bro, this music, like, they've got this choral arrangement, and they also have Cal's theme in there too. And then they have the Force theme. It's almost like signifying this planet's, like, significance in the Force, right? Like, the what it means for the Jedi. It's so cool. It's like a spiritual thing almost. Man, they really nailed it with the score for this. I love this. I've listened to the soundtrack. I don't remember this track. I'm surprised they didn't release it. Fallen Order? Yeah, Fallen Order is the first one.
Time to see if that compass is still working.
Why wouldn't it be?
With my luck.
It is a mechanical object. You have no control over it.
Fair enough.
Where should we take her first?
Ready when you are. I just hope that compass still works.
Gotta check your half price books. Oh, only $5. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah, you should get it. You should play it. Poor Kata. Just chilling alone. Now we've got to take care of her. That's a responsibility I don't think Cal is prepared for. Taking care of a child. Yeah. Alright. Well, I'm sure I'll stream more of this game. Just me running around the planets and exploring, but I think I'm done for the night. I'm tired. I thought this would be, like, way more fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was... Not that it wasn't fun. Like, I like this game a lot, but, like... I'm just sad. Like, I finished exams, and I was like, heck yeah, let's do a live stream. And then all I've done is make myself sad. Now I'm just depressed. Like, now I'm just gonna be, like... I'm probably gonna have, like, dreams about this game tonight. Like, it's probably just gonna, like, invade my subconscious. That's how, like... That's how, like, much this has impacted me. Like, it's actually, like, this game's really, like, getting under my skin right now. Like, I'm really thinking about it. Which is good. I'm glad it's, like, thought-provoking. It's not, like, a dumb bullshit thing that I'm gonna forget about, but also, like, this was a heavy ending. I probably should have known that it would be, but... The first one, like, left me on a positive note, you know? It was, like, there was hope. And it was like, yeah, we did it, guys. And this one's just, like... Well, everything's fucked. And we gotta try and find a way to keep going. Which is kind of how I feel about my theory exam, to be honest. Like, I don't even know if I passed. I'm just like, well, everything's fucked, but we'll find a way to move on. Just like Cal. Just like Cal and his team. That's what heroes do, isn't it? Find a way to persevere. Yeah. But yeah, find the games, Galaxy. Get them, play them. They're really good. Play Fallen Order, play this one. Highly recommend these games. I know I'll get through it. I'll survive. I always find a way. That's why I like stories like this, you know? They leave me thinking. They like, even though this was sad, it's like, it's kind of a little bit like reassuring. Like it's a good. There were good life lessons, you know. Like what Marin was saying at the end there, where she was like, what did she say again? She was like, this grief is yours, but you don't have to let it define you. Like it's yours and yours alone, but don't let it become who you are. Like you can fail, you can... Bad things will happen, but you can still carry on. You can forge a new path. It is comforting. Like one of my favorite lines in the previous game is that I find kind of applicable to life. It was when Cordova, in his last message to BD1, he says, "Failure is not the end. It is a necessary part of the path." And I like to apply that to life, because it's not like I don't try, you know? And like this theory stuff, this music theory stuff has been like hell for me. It's been really hard. But and even if I do fail, it's a part of learning. It's a part of the path. It's a necessary part of the path. And I'll find a way through it. Maybe, you know, if I don't pass, in the worst case scenario, I gotta take it again. And I can keep doing it. I'll keep trying. I'll keep doing it until I get it done. Until I get through it. You gotta be like Cal. You gotta be like Cordova. That's why, yeah, it is comforting. It's stories like this they're good like that. They remind you, keep you thinking. They remind you of what matters. I feel like I'm rambling, but I don't know. I like to vent. Cal's just stretching right now, and I'm like having this deep moment of thought, and Cal's just like, "Oh, bro, I'm so stiff." Definition of good writing. I just find it funny that Cal's like, "Oh, I gotta crick my neck, I gotta stretch my arms a little bit, I just had the fight of my life," and I'm just here like, "Man, this story is really fascinating," and then Cal's like, "Oh, there's a bug on my face. Oh, frick." It's definitely, yeah, good writing, you know? And it's interesting, too, to think about, like, Cal's stretching. It's perfect writing. It's peak writing. Yeah, well, you know, it's something to think about, right? Absolute cinema. It's something, it is, yeah. It's, well, not that. But, like, it is, it's interesting, right? Because even something like, I said several times in these streams tonight, like, this game is not perfect. I don't even know if it's as good as the last one. Like, there are some definite narrative issues in it. Like, I already talked at length about those weird plot issues, but Certain as Hell has good themes in it that are well executed and good character development, like a good journey for everyone. Like, Cal's journey here has been really interesting to experience. There's a lot you can relate to your life, you know. The map thing is the only flaw you saw. The map thing is a bit weak, you know. Yeah. That was the weakest part. But, like, yeah, it's like, you know, here we are at the end of the story, and I feel like there's so much left in it. And it's not just, like, exploring planets and getting collectibles, you know what I mean? Like, there are probably a lot of interactions that you can have with characters that are going to be interesting to experience in the aftermath of the main plot. And I'm sure that we're going to do plenty of that on other live streams, because I'm not done. I'm going to keep streaming, even though the story is done. Keep streaming until I've got every last inch of this game explored. You know? That's what I did with Fallen Order. Some of it I'll probably do off stream, but I'll definitely stream more. Because I was dedicated to Fallen Order. I was dedicated to getting everything. Same with this one. I'm a completionist. I'm a perfectionist. Gotta get it done. But we can't do all that tonight, because I'm tired. And I'm gonna go home tomorrow. It feels weird. Came back to university for a couple days, and then I'm going back home for a month. Yeah. Lots to do, man. Lots to do. But it's always fun hanging out on the stream for a bit. Hope my winter break goes well. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll be back on here before the end of the break, so we'll talk again soon. But I appreciate you being on here. It's always lovely to chat with you. With all of you. There are a couple new people on this stream, so I always like to see that. I always like to see more people joining in, you know? Yeah, it is fun. I'm glad I'm able to do this. It's a good way to kind of decompress and also vent and talk to people. But Lucas is yeah. But Lucas, you know, he's always here to bring the party. You know, he's the life of the party. He's always here to bring the fun. But yeah, I'll end before I keep rambling. But good chatting with you, Galaxy, and I'll talk to you soon, man. You guys take it easy. May the Force be with you always.